How's it going, everyone? Dave here, back with another video. And every March I do a full collection video of my manga collection, kind of a full walkthrough. And I decided to do it a little bit early. It's the end of January as of time of recording this. I don't know when this is gonna go up, probably in a little while, but anyway, that doesn't matter. But I figured I'm on the wait list for an apartment right now with a buddy of mine, so hopefully we will be moving sometime soon, but if we do wind up moving, that would be during March, so it would conflict with, not really, because it doesn't take an entire month to move, but but between that, me wanting to cut back on some finances to help myself, support myself in this apartment, I've decided to take a break from buying any new manga, at least for a while. So I figured this is how my collection, for the most part, is going to look going forward. So I figured, you know what, it was close enough. I love collection videos. I love making collection videos. So I figured let's just jump the gun a little bit and do our yearly collection video a little early. So that's what this video is going to be. First off, I appreciate the support that I've gotten over the past year. The channel is almost at 200 subscribers, which is pretty awesome to me. It's, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's still small, but for me, I never thought I'd get 2 subscribers, let alone 200. So that's pretty awesome, and I really appreciate all the support. Tonight, I'm actually doing a stand-up show in front of 100 people, so like I think of my channel a lot like doing a stand-up show. Like, if I'm going out in front of 100 people, that's pretty cool. That's like a lot of people in my opinion, and we have double that, or almost double that, here on the channel. So I appreciate all the support. It really means a lot to me. But I'll stop yammering and get into the specifics, which is why you guys are here. Let's go through the collection. So I'm gonna go through this a little bit quicker, I think, than I have in previous years, mainly because I have either talked about some of these series in depth in other videos, or I've just straight up reviewed them. So feel free to check the playlists on my channel if you guys want to hear a little bit more. But this should be in alphabetical order. If I messed anything up, I apologize. Spelling is not a strong suit of mine. But we have volumes 1 and 2 of Attack on Titan: No Regrets. This is complete. Volumes 1 and 2 of Barrage. This is also complete. Volumes 1 through 3 of Banana Fish. I've been really getting into Banana Fish. It's a lot of fun. Really cool story. A lot of intrigue. A lot of twists and turns. A lot of really well-written characters. Volumes 1 through 12 of Boruto. I'm going to sit down real quick here. Crisscross applesauce like we're in 4th grade again. A lot of people hate on Boruto, and I get it. The anime is a little rough, I think, because they jumped the gun on it, because they have a lot of filler already, and it just is kind of boring. But the actual manga itself is actually really solid. I do recommend it. It actually is pretty good. Next we have volumes 1 and 2 of Deadpool Samurai. That is also complete. I talked about Deadpool Samurai on my favorite manga of 2022 video. Feel free to check that out. But very funny, very cool. It's Deadpool and it's manga. Like, you really can't go wrong there. Demon Slayer: Stories of Water and Flame. I really like Demon Slayer, and this is just a great kind of quote-unquote expanded universe type manga for the story, so that's really cool. I enjoyed reading that. Next we have volumes 1 through 3 of Dive, just a fun diving manga. Kind of, some parts of it don't really make sense, but it's alright. Then volumes 1, also Dive is complete, by the way, 1 through 3. Then we have volumes 1 through 11 of Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. It's very, I find it to be just a very charming, cute, quick read. It's very simple. It's like, it's kind of like macaroni. It's simple, it's nice, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but it'll fill you up, and, it does what you need it to do. Next we have the Dragon Ball Time I Got Reincarnated as Yamcha. Just a fun kind of spin-off little silly story. Next, we have volumes 1 through 12 of Dragon Ball Super. The Super show had some problems. I understand why people had problems with Super, but the manga I really am enjoying, and honestly, the anime I enjoyed Super as well. I understood why people didn't like it. I personally thought it was fine. But they go further in the manga than the show did, so we're going into the Moro stuff, and then eventually into the stuff with Granola and whatever. So that'll be fun to continue reading up on. So yeah, it's pretty solid. Next, we have volumes 1 through 5 of Dragon Quest Monsters Plus. This is complete. I really love Dragon Quest. This is a great manga for Dragon Quest fans who don't want to pay $20 a volume for Dragon Quest Dai. There's a lot of cool former characters and just like all the monsters from Dragon Quest. It's a cool read. And also, if you guys are annoyed by the stickers, I totally understand that. But I've said this before, I actually like the stickers because buying used books just helps save money. But also it's like, it in a weird cringy way, it like the book tells a story more than the pages do. Because like your book could be from anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, potentially, depending on where you live. So it's like, not only do you have this book, but also it went on its own little journey or story of its own, which I kind of like. So next we have volumes 1 through 5 of Dr. Slump. Akira Toriyama is a great author. Of course, Dragon Ball he's known for, but Dr. Slump is pretty good. It's pretty funny. It's not something that I'm like actively trying to seek out, but if I decide to pick one up, I usually do. Dr. Stone 1 through 7, and I'm realizing I forgot to put some on here. One moment. And we're back. Okay, I had 2 other volumes of manga in my work bag that I forgot about. But we have Dr. Stone volumes 1 through 7. This is a very fun, interesting manga. And we have the Dr. Stone reboot, Byakuya. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is like the kind of spin-off. I haven't read it yet, but I like Dr. Stone, and I'm sure it'll be a good read. Next, we have my favorite manga of all time, Eyeshield 21, volumes 1 through 35. This is 37. I cannot find 36 for the life of me. I don't know why it's so hard to find, but I haven't been able to finish the story because I have to read 36, obviously, before I can read 37. Like, I know how it ends, but I don't know the specifics. So that really sucks. I hope to find 36 someday so I can finish it because, like I said, it is my favorite manga of all time. Football and manga, you can't go wrong. You really can't mess that up. Next, we have the Fairy Tail side stories, 1 through 3. This is complete. Really expanded universe stuff into Fairy Tail. It's pretty fun. Similar situation with S, volumes 1 and 2. This is also complete. Final Fantasy Type 0 or Type O, volumes 1 and 2 of Gintama, very funny manga. The Gods Lie. I have to reread this one because I wanted to review it, but it's definitely a very interesting story. I don't have a whole lot to say about it because I haven't actually finished it, but it's fun. Volume 1 of Go-Go Loser Ranger. This is definitely an interesting take on Power Rangers, where the Power Rangers are actually kind of the bad guys. I'm not sure if I'm super into it yet. The first volume started off kind of slow, but it definitely ramped up at the end, and it kind of ended on an interesting note. So I'll probably keep collecting it in the future. But yeah, as of right now, it's okay. Next, we have 1 through 6 of Golosseum. This is complete. I actually just finished this one. It's nuts. It's crazy. Golosseum is a crazy, crazy manga. Next, we have volumes 1 through 3 of Gunblaze West. This is also complete. It kind of feels like this ended sooner than the mangaka wanted it to, because it kind of just ends out of nowhere. But it was fine. Western manga isn't usually something that you see very often, so it was cool. It was different. Next, we have volumes 1 through 4 of I Think Our Son Is Gay. Very cute, very, wholesome manga. Very funny as well. Next, we have one of my new favorites, and I made a whole video about this, so I'll be brief because I would love for you guys to check out that video. It would mean a lot to me. But volumes 1 through 4 of Kaiju number 8, again, one of my new favorites. If you're curious as to why, that video is on my channel. Then we have volumes 1 through 6 of Mashle, a very fun, kind of Harry Potter-esque parody, and it also parodies shonen as a whole, which is very cool and very funny. Next we have, by the same mangaka of Fairy Tail, we have Monster Soul, volumes 1 and 2. This ended way before it was meant to. I think even in volume 2, the mangaka like had a message in there explaining how sorry he was that Monster Soul just kind of ended. So I don't really know what happened there, but it was, you know, it's definitely complete because it just ended. But for what it was fine. You know, very Fairy Tail-esque, obviously, given that it's the same author. Next, we have volumes 1 and 2 of My Hero Team-Up Missions. I think I included this on my favorite manga of 2022 video. I could be wrong about that. But it's in the same vein of something like the Fairy Tail side stories or whatever, where it's just kind of an expanded universe type thing, and it gives you a new look on characters that you don't often get to see together. Next, we have volumes 1 through 3 of Ninja Baseball Kaima. This is complete. It's a very simple manga. It's definitely more geared towards kids. It's a very simple read, but it's fine. It's about a little ninja kid who decides to play baseball. It's, you know, it's alright. It's cute, I guess. That was one of my very first reviews, too, on the channel, was Ninja Baseball Kaima. Next, as I'm sliding over, we have volumes 1 and 2 of Nanan Biori. Volumes 1 and 2 of Yankees, Volume 1 of One Piece. I'm getting into collecting One Piece because I've been watching the anime, but it's just too long. And the manga, obviously, is not short by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot shorter than the anime is. So I decided to bite the bullet and start trying to actually read the manga here. Next, we have volumes 1 through 11 of O-Parts. This is actually by the brother of the creator of Naruto, so they're very similar. It's an interesting series. It kind of has peaks and valleys. Like, it starts out really strong, and then it gets kind of boring, and then it gets better, and then it gets boring. It's, you know, it's fine. It's alright. Then we have volumes 1 and 2 of Orient. Another volume, or volume 1, sorry, of, this is a mouthful, Our Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide. This is a BL manga about two guys who are dating who travel the world together, and it's very cute and wholesome. And as a guy who loves traveling and somebody who wants to travel more, it's definitely a good read and very interesting because you learn a little bit about the cultures of the countries that they go to as well. Next, we have volumes 1 through 6 of Precarious Woman Executive, Miss Black General. I haven't read this one in a minute, but it is very goofy, you know, a parody of, like, you know, superhero stuff, which is pretty big nowadays. Next, we have volume 1 of Sakamoto Days. I fell in love with this series. I'm definitely eager to read more of it. It's a lot of fun. Next, we have volumes 1 through 5 of Samurai 8. This is complete. This is by the same author of Naruto. I got to about volume 3, and then I dropped it because I was just busy at the time. But I want to reread it and actually do a full review of it. So hopefully that'll come out at some point. I said the same thing last year, and I never actually got around to it. So I've just been very busy and doing other sorts of videos, but eventually we'll get a full, you know, review of Samurai 8. Next we have Sandland by Akira Toriyama. Then we have volumes 1 through 10 of Slam Dunk, one of the best manga ever made, and that's not just me saying that. Like, it is one of, if not the most popular manga of all time. So it's really good. Next we have Songs to Make You Smile. Then Super Mario Manga Mania, and then volumes 1 through 9 of Toriko. Toriko is super underrated. I love Toriko a lot. I watched the anime, but unfortunately they only put the first 50 of them in English. And I could watch the rest subbed, but if I wanted to read, I would just read the manga, so that's why I'm reading the manga. Next, we have volumes 1 through 3 of The Way of the House Husband. Definitely an interesting take on like kind of slice of life, but also like mafia stuff and obviously Yakuza stuff. So it's definitely interesting. This one's funny. We have Yagi the Bookstore Goat, which is a another boys love manga, but it's definitely a little more risque than, like, for example, the Are Not So Lonely Planet Travel Guide. This is definitely mature, as it says right here. And the reason I bring that up is because I found this in a bookstore in the children's section. I don't think anyone actually read it through. I think they just saw the cute little characters and the fact that it was a, you know, comic book and decided to throw it in the kids section. So I'm you know, definitely definitely thought that was funny. That I found, not only found it in, oh, I'm dropping things. I found it in this blue-collar town. I actually found it in the Hobart Book Village, which is this very blue-collar town in the Catskills. But the whole town is book village, or is like bookstores. There's this whole street of just bookstores, and it's pretty cool, to be honest with you. I made a video about that as well if you're interested. Next we have, I can't pronounce this word. I'm so sorry. Yakatake. I hope I didn't butcher that. Japan Volume 1. It's a manga about bread making, which I think is very cool. It's definitely different. It's okay so far. I'm enjoying it. I don't really know if it's gonna be one that I actively pursue, but for now I'm planning on collecting it. Next, we have volumes 1 through 6 of Yu Yu Hakusho. Yu Yu Hakusho is my favorite anime of all time, so I wanted to collect the manga as well. We have a Gunpla that I was going to build for a video and just never did, so hopefully I'll get around to that soon. And then we have volumes 1 through 4 of Blue Lock. Blue Lock is also another one of my new favorites. I mentioned that in my top manga of 2022 video, so that's a great read as well. Next, we have volumes 1 through 5 of, I think, The Devil's a Part-Timer High School. This is complete. It's fine. It's honestly kind of boring. I really like The Devil's a Part-Timer. I watched the anime. I thought it was great. So I picked this up just kind of as a little spin-off thing, but it's just kind of okay. It's whatever. Next we have Levius. This is complete in this big kind of, I don't know if this is always how it comes. I don't know if this is just how it was like packaged, but this is the volume I have, this kind of big hardcover omnibus. The reason that these are out of order is because they're too tall, and for some reason they'll only fit on this shelf, so that's why they're not, you know, in order with everything else. But yeah, really great story about like robot, like kind of mech boxing. I want to read Levi's Est, which is like the sequel series, so but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, this is my main collection of stuff that I'm actively collecting. Let me stand up here. Don't get sick. So yeah, and this is where I put my currently reading. I have it in this little Hoopa V box. I also have, I want to learn some Japanese, so I have a book from the 80s, Japanese for busy people, and then this is my anxiety book. Don't pay attention to that. We're fine. We're working things out. And then this extra little bit up here are a few volumes that I own, obviously, but I'm not actively collecting. And to save space on the main shelf, I decided to put them up here. And that is the first omnibus for Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball, and eventually I would like to collect the manga, but I've already seen the series, and I don't really feel the need to collect the manga right now. Same thing with Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. This is actually, I got this at the Hobart Book Village as well. It's a manga of the Bible. And I have no intention on collecting it or even reading it, really. I just thought it was funny, so I bought it. It was like $3. Also, I made a joke about it in a video years ago. I made a joke about there being a manga Bible, and it turns out that it's real. I was just kidding. I didn't think it was real. Next, we have Beat, the Vandal Buster Volume 1. I started collecting this, but I stopped because they didn't release the full series in English, and honestly, I just wasn't super interested in it. Zelda and Delicious Dungeon are 2 volumes that I got from my sister and my buddy, respectively. So I wanted to keep them because they mean a lot to me, because they were gifts, but I just, as of right now, don't really have a desire to collect them, so I put them up here. And then Kingdom Hearts Volume 2, Kingdom Hearts 2 Volume 1. I've played Kingdom Hearts 2 so many times, and honestly, having it all written out for me might help me understand the story better, because to this day, like 20 years later, I still don't quite, or maybe not 20 years later, but like 10 years later, I still don't quite understand the story that well. But I just don't really have a desire to collect the manga as of right now. However, I'm pretty sure it's pretty cheap, so I feel like you could collect it. But anyway, let's swing back over here. Whoop. Yeah, that's the 2023 collection. It doesn't, if you guys watched last year or the year before, it honestly might not look that different. It might not look bigger. I sold a lot of manga this past year just because I wasn't reading it, and I just didn't have a desire to have it. So eventually, would I love a giant manga library? Yeah, that would be awesome. But really, I, 1, the space, 2, the money, and 3, I just like my collection being tailored to me. You know, I don't need every single volume. I don't need every single series. I have what I have because it's what I like and it's what I read. So it may not be the biggest collection, but it's, you know, quite literally my collection, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's the video. I appreciate you guys watching. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys again for your support. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.